Hey everybody, I'm Guy. This is the Comic Book Guys YouTube channel where we talk about comic books, comic book related topics, and overall just some nerdy stuff that we are interested in. And today I'm joined by Matt. If you've been watching,
hello.
You've seen Matt several times now. And yeah, what we're thinking about today is what are the comic book shows and movies, maybe even animation, that they haven't made yet? What is the industry missing from their roster of content that we want to see produced and provided? And yeah, we've each got 5, probably some honorable mentions too, because I don't know about you, I couldn't keep my list to just 5. But yeah, let's jump into it and do our top 10 shows, movies, whatever, that we want to see made. And I'll let you kick it off with yours first.
Okay, so I thought when you first brought the subject up to me, I wanted to keep it to movies or TV shows that are practical and plausible. You know, that they're characters that are already in play in certain TV shows or movies. Or and it's practical, because I mean we could come up with just crazy ideas about movies and TV shows that they would never ever make.
Yeah.
And I try to leave, I didn't want to go for the low hanging fruit like Dredd 2. Everybody would love to see a Dredd 2. Duh.
Yeah. That was a great movie, the first one.
Oh yeah, very underrated. It performed poorly in the box office. So
sure.
And Carl Urban's even said he would love to do another one, but it's just not going to happen. But anyway, I digress. So my first choice would be The Question.
Now, for anyone that doesn't know, because you mentioned this to me, I'm like, what? I'm trying to think, like, what is The Question?
The Question. Vic Sage. He is a crime reporter. Well, he was a newspaper reporter. Then he became a TV journalist. He's a crime reporter, and he solves crimes. And he wears this fake skin spray. He sprays on his face, and it just gives him his face looks completely blank, no eyes, nose, or mouth. And he just wears a suit and a trench coat with a hat. He came around in 1967, I believe, and I think it was an issue of Blue Beetle. I'm not 100, but anyway, it's Vic Sage.
So this is kind of like the era of like, I don't know, no, maybe not a little after, but like Dick Tracy or The Shadow or The Spirit.
It was definitely big at the time.
Yeah.
And he's very street level. His character evolved through the years, and he learned like martial arts. And he does have limited mystical abilities that help him solve crimes. Nothing crazy. He can't fly and walk through walls, stuff like that. But yeah, you could very easily do a TV show with Vic Sage, The Question. And he's a recognizable character from the Justice League cartoons. The arc where he was voiced by Jeffrey Combs was fantastic. So good.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's very, very good. Jeffrey Combs is a really talented voice actor, and an outright actor on his own. He's been in a lot of movies, a lot. Look him up, though. He's really, really talented. But anyway, yeah, you could have just a gritty, street-level mystery, crime show. Every episode would be him solving a crime. And you could even have, like, an underlying conspiracy that, that lasts throughout the season. I thought it could be something they could easily do. It's very plausible. And, yeah. James Gunn's known for, using D-list characters, and
You mean the Guardians of the Galaxy was a D-list set of characters at some point? Stop it.
The guy's making a Clayface movie.
Oh, okay.
Come on, James. You can do a Question TV show. Come on.
Yeah, this is a good idea, though, because it's not like a high-budget, like highfalutin special effects and stuff type of show. So it's a good idea.
You could do it on the same budget like you did Green Arrow.
Yeah, all of those Arrowverse shows.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the time, I was wondering, hey, why don't we sing a question?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Really good.
All right, I'm going to jump into my first suggestion, and it's kind of like, I don't know. You're going to say, well, you did say when we talked about this list, like, aren't they actually doing that? And yes and no. I want a Lobo movie. Not even a show. A one-shot movie would be great. And you'd mentioned, like, aren't they doing something with that? I think they said they're going to put him in the next, maybe it was Wonder Woman, maybe it was Supergirl.
I don't know.
But I want a standalone Lobo. I mean, Jason Momoa is supposedly going to be the Lobo in whatever this movie is. I mean, I've been wanting a standalone Lobo movie for as long as they've been making comic book movies. And the thing that's confounding about it to me is the way that DC and Warner Brothers, by extension, has handled that character over the entirety of its existence. Lobo, and I used to talk about this with Bob, the gentleman that used to run the comic book store that we frequented.
Yes.
Lobo could have been DC's Wolverine. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that. How do you drop that ball?
They brought him in that show, Krypton, that nobody watched.
I don't even know what show that is.
Yeah,
so.
check out Krypton. Lobo is a character in that show, Krypton, and big swing and a miss. They just did not do the character justice. Not even close. And the show itself was pretty lackluster. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I think I watched like the first season, and it's like, this isn't for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, okay, people are going to be like, oh, you're cheating. They are going to do something with Lobo. I'm just saying, I want a standalone, I want a Lobo movie that really pays homage to that character and does it right. And I guess, frankly, and my expectations are they're not going to do it right in whatever it is they're throwing him into in a future movie here. So
I don't know. They might surprise you. You never know.
I would be surprised for sure.
Because I have heard that they are supposedly doing a something with Lobo with Jason Momoa, and I mean he's got the right look for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, anyway, that's my first pick. I want to see the main man. I've been wanting to see him for years, and since he's technically not in anything yet or anything currently, that's going to be my first pick, and I'm cautiously optimistic that they're going to do something cool with him in the near future. What do you got for number 2?
It's a relatively new series from Ghost Machine. It's called Hyde Street. If you're not reading it, you should. It's really good.
How long has this been on the market for?
I think issue 10 just came out.
Okay.
Or maybe 11. I forget. Anyway, what it is, it's an anthology series. It's a horror anthology series, and it follows the residents of Hyde Street. And these are people that they are scumbags. They have done some things that have led to people either them killing them directly themselves or being responsible for their suicide, things like that. These are generally not good people. And they get sucked into Hyde Street, and they have to work to earn either their freedom. Well, actually, no, they just have to work. I think they have to convert 10,000. They have to deliver 10,000 souls, and they can go back to, where they came from.
From back to life.
Back to life. And so what happens is people get sucked into Hyde Street because they're doing things they shouldn't have been doing. They're doing some nefarious things or whatever. They're just, a-holes, and they're not good people. And they can either redeem themselves in some way or they can be condemned. And it's up to the character that you're following in that episode, that issue, as to what because there's some characters that do redeem the characters, and some just want to condemn all of them. And I don't want to spoil anything because it's a really good, fun read. But I thought, they've done things like this before with Tales from the Crypt, a horror anthology show. It'd be so easy to do. But this has the twist of you have a different antagonist in every episode, and different rotating characters constantly. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It really the series really lends itself to a episodic TV show. Absolutely.
Is there any continuity from one issue or one story to the next, as far as a common narrator, like the Crypt Keeper, or anything at all? Or
it's all Hyde Street is really the setting. That's the constant. And you have, so far they've introduced about 5 different characters, residents of Hyde Street. And there are more. And each episode each issue kind of focuses on that person and why they're there and what they do to the unfortunate souls that end up on Hyde Street.
That's interesting. Is this Image, or who's
Ghost
doing?
Machine?
Ghost Machine. Okay.
Yeah. Also, who is they're making Geiger, who that is my top read right now. Geiger is really good.
I thought Geiger was Image.
No, that is Ghost Machine.
Interesting. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I have never even heard of that series, but I'd kind of like to check it out. I like the
Now that I
idea.
think about it, Ghost Machine, I think, is a part of like Image, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
It's really good. Read it.
yeah, check it out. And yeah, if you want to lend it to me, I'll check it out too. It sounds cool. Let's jump to my number 2, and I have to check my list because I got a bad memory. So this is one, and again, you might say like, oh, that's cheating. They've already done it. Kind of. I mean, it's been a long time. I want to see Swamp Thing back on the big screen. And yeah, they did Swamp Thing back in the 80s. The first one, I don't know if you remember it, it wasn't that bad. I think they did a sequel that was pretty bad.
Yeah, the first one was cheesy fun.
It was okay. Like I liked
was.
it. I was gonna say it still holds up. Like it never held up because it was like cheesy rubber suit and the whole thing. But like,
yeah.
But like, I don't mind watching it every once in a while.
Oh, when they cut his arm off and he hits sunlight and it sprouts out of the stump.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was good stuff.
that was a fun movie. Yeah.
Now they did do a Swamp Thing series. Did you ever catch this series that they did?
I never watched it. I know that it exists.
I watched the first few episodes. Not good at all. If I'm not mistaken, Ian, I forget his name. He was in the Beverly Hills 90210 show back in the 90s.
Oh my God.
The blonde-haired guy. Ian Ziering. I think he was in Sharknado a lot too.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
I think he was in it, if I remember correctly.
The Sharknado guy.
The Sharknado guy, I think, was in it.
Those are so bad.
It was a terrible, I mean, in my opinion, and taste is subjective. There's going to be people out there that might say they loved it, but I thought it was a terrible show. I want to see Swamp Thing done like a good justice to, because like Justice League Dark, that series, like there's really cool things that they could do with that character that's more on the darker side of the DC universe. And I just don't know, again, like Lobo, what are they doing with these characters that could, I think, be really compelling and interesting characters, and they don't capitalize on it?
Would you want to see him in a standalone movie or a series?
I mean, I'd like to see him at all, but I mean, either way,
Or maybe part of a team like the Justice League Dark.
I could be convinced to see it always. I just enjoy the character.
Okay.
But
And
yeah,
you'll take him any way you can get him.
pretty much at this
Okay.
point, yeah. They got to do.
Fair enough.
I just want them to do something with that character in a modern setting and put some backing behind it and make it good. So yeah, that's my pick there for my number 2. I guess we're on. What's your 3?
Okay, my number 3. Oh, one of my favorite Marvel characters is the Black Knight. I tend to like characters that don't have powers.
The Black Knight. I mean, I've literally maybe never heard of this character. What is the origin of it?
Okay, the Black Knight has been around for a very long time. His first appearance was in Avengers number 48.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's how far back we're going, right? Well, there was the original Black Knight, who was a villain. Nathan Garrett, I want to say. He was a villain back in the day. I think he first fought like Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Okay. Is this I've never even seen a picture of the character that I'm aware of. Maybe I haven't. I didn't notice. Are we talking like a knight, like helmet and armor and like a knight?
Yeah, and he like genetically modified a horse to have wings, and yeah, he had this big lance with all kinds of he would shoot, death rays and whatever, He was a really cheesy bad guy.
Okay.
And he fought, and then he became the part of the Masters of Evil, with the original Baron Zemo and stuff like that. Those guys fought the Avengers, and then it was a battle with Iron Man. He got mortally wounded, and he called his nephew Dane Whitman. And on his deathbed, he confessed all this stuff to Dane Whitman. He was his villain, and so what happens is Dane Whitman is there, with his uncle. His uncle dies, and he's able to modify some of his equipment and stuff like that, his armor and everything. And then he's at part of the estate. He inherits his castle, and he finds his hidden chamber, and he finds the ebony blade. With his enchanted sword that his ancestor, Sir Percy, used as one of the Knights of the Round Table.
Oh, they're going like,
oh yeah, way back.
King Arthur deep cut.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
And so it was made by Merlin,
Right.
And so what happens is the Masters of Evil, they're looking to, get up to their old tricks again, against the Avengers. and they reach out to who they thought was the villainous Black Knight, but they contact Dane Whitman. And so he wants to warn the Avengers. And on his way, he's, flying the winged horse, that his, bad guy uncle used to fly. And the Hawkeye, of all people, encounters him when he was like younger and a real hothead. It just starts attacking him right away. So that whole issue is him fighting the Avengers. And then finally he's like, hey, look, I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to warn you. And so they're like, oh, our bad.
Whoopsie.
Whoops, sorry.
Here's a Band-Aid.
So then he becomes an ally of the Avengers, to the point where in the 90s he was the team leader. And he's got an chance. He has no powers himself. He's got his sword gives him, some powers.
Okay.
It's an enchanted sword that can cut through anything. And then he discovers more powers that it possesses further along, like he can teleport himself to wherever or that's the other, I think both ways. The sword can teleport to him, or he can teleport to the sword. I forget. But anyway, they've already introduced him in the cinematic universe, the character Dane Whitman, in that insanely terrible Eternals movie.
Yeah, you said we were talking about this earlier. They were like, well, they did put him in the Eternals, and I was like, I turned that movie off after 30 minutes.
Terrible. You have just turned the deviants, which is a whole race of people. They're all individual characters with their own distinct looks, appearances, and powers, and you've made them robot dogs. Here's a newsflash, Marvel. Your heroes are only as good as your villains.
There was an interview, this is a tangent, but that was poignant in that Todd McFarlane, everyone is busting my chops because I say McFarlane, and they're like, who? McFarlane, who cares? That's
how he pronounces it.
Does he say McFarlane or McFarlane?
McFarlane. Yeah.
McFarlane, okay.
Because if you watch the Spawn series, animated series from HBO, that's how he introduces it.
My last name's Wozniak. Do you know how many people have called me Wozniak? I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Wojciechowicz.
So anyway, interview with him, though, he was talking about, the importance of villains, and what you said is absolutely true. And his point was, when he was talking about Venom, prior to Venom, how many villains had they made in the last 20, 30 years that stuck? Not many. Hobgoblin, maybe. It's, very, very few. When you get a villain, you gotta really kind of take care of that villain and baby that villain, because the heroes are only as good as the villain, like you said.
Well, you look at the success of the first. Again, this is a whole other video we can make.
Right.
But Thanos was done so well. It was such a build up to him. They got the perfect actor to play him. What have they done since?
Yeah.
But now you got Dane Whitman, the Black Knight. You have him there. He's on the board. Do something with him, please. You could even have the storyline where he gets turned into a statue by the Enchantress, and his soul gets sent to the body of his ancestor during the Crusades. And him being in the Crusades.
Okay.
And then, they're able to remove the curse and turn him back into, himself. And now
what if he gets transported back to the Crusades? He finds the, what do you call it? The goblet. What's the relic, from the Bible? I can't think of, I'm drawing a blank.
You mean the Grail?
Yeah, the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
That's right. He gets teleported back in time, the Crusades. He finds the Holy Grail. And then, because Disney owns both, he winds up being the guy that's guarding the Grail when Indiana Jones shows up. They got a tie-in. They got tie-ins there. Probably not.
I suppose they could do that, but please leave Indy alone. Please, for the love of God, leave Indy alone.
Yeah.
Let him rest in peace. I think we could both agree there are only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah, correct.
And then when he comes back from the Crusades, this dude's been in the Crusades, man. He's got some serious PTSD.
Sure.
Right? There's so many things they could do with that. Just please use the character. Do him justice.
All right, I'm on board for it. Like I said, I'd never heard of him, but I'd like to see what they do. Why not? All right, I'm going to jump into, we're on number 3, my number 3. And again, this is another kind of reboot thing. Like, Swamp Thing was sort of a reboot thing. I'm dying for some Spawn content. Like where the first Spawn movie, for its time, I think was decent, but it doesn't hold up, special effects and whatnot.
Yeah.
But how is it that they haven't done something with that character in the better part of 30 years almost in terms of movies or shows and whatnot? They did do the animated series on HBO a while ago, and that was good, but live action, they did that one movie, and like again, it has some warts now if you look back at it, with the special effects and everything, but like it's outside of the big 2, Marvel and DC, it's like the most prolific character that's ever been created. As far as independent comic books go, it's got more consecutive issues than anything that's ever existed before it. Like, do something with that character already.
Yeah. They gave it a shot, I think. And you're right. If you look back at the movie, there's some issues there.
It was cool at the time. I saw it in the theater.
Yeah. The acting was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actors they had, and you got Martin Sheen for crying out loud. The acting was good. I think they were really limited by the special effects available to them at the time.
And I think they tried to go too far with it. Like with the cape, you remember that thing was this huge CGI flowing cape.
Yeah.
Now, back in those days, just prior to that in movies, and I was just talking to a friend of mine about this because my friend John has never seen Alien or Aliens, but he loves the new Alien Earth show. And I was like, bro, go back and watch those movies. They're amazing. And he's like, oh, I'm nervous. Like, how good could the special effects be on these creatures in the 1980s?
Ooh, that's having him watch those 2 movies is gonna really make him hate Alien Earth.
Yeah, I bet. But here's the thing that I told him.
When you hold the 2 up, like, oh, wow.
I watched the first episode of Alien Earth, and I didn't hate it or anything, but they're trickling them out, so I decided to wait till it was all out.
Yeah.
But I digress. The thing about movies back just prior to when they made Spawn was the trick was to show you less, right? Like think of, I don't know, Jaws or Aliens or any of those movies. You didn't see a big cheesy rubber monster too often.
Let the viewer's imagination do the work for you.
That's what they should have done with Spawn because they weren't there yet with the technology.
Yes.
But they didn't. And I think that is why obviously it doesn't hold up well. But now, the sky's the limit. They could do anything.
Technology's there. Yeah.
So that's what I want to see as my number 3. I want to see Spawn brought back into, the world of cinema. Whether it's a series or a movie, I don't really care. I think it should just be a full reboot, like origin story, the whole 9 yards. Kind of forget about that stuff that they did in the past, and new actor, new everything, and just do it right from the ground up. That's my vote.
All right, my next pick would be a West Coast Avengers movie.
Who's
West Coast Avengers?
Who's the main core of the West Coast Avengers?
What happened was Tony Stark had a compound over in California. And so they came up with the idea, hey, we got, the Avengers are based in New York. We want a West Coast team. And Hawkeye was chosen to get it going.
If you're going to pick an Avengers, who's more Hollywood than Hawkeye, right?
So they said Hawkeye goes to California. It started off in a 4-issue miniseries. And they did that to see how it would take. And the original lineup was Hawkeye, Wonder Man, Tigra, Mockingbird, and I think that was it. Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man was part of that. So it was Hawkeye, Mockingbird, Iron Man, Wonder Man, and Tigra. And
I assume Iron Man was bi-coastal because he was in Avengers at the same time too, wasn't he?
No, that was when Rhodey was in the Iron Man suit.
Oh, okay.
Right? And Tony was in Silicon Valley at the time because he was on the sauce. So it was Rhodey in the suit. And then it went into an regular ongoing series, and they added more people to the roster. Like Moon Knight was in there. He was on the team. And they added a couple of other people as the series went on. U.S. Agent, War Machine, Vision and Scarlet Witch. But yeah, they got a lot of those players are already in action. They're already on the board. And they could easily do it. That's something they could really do. And that was a really fun series back in the day. You could definitely play a lot. And in fact, that's where it was the West Coast Avengers where the whole storyline where Vision was abducted, taken apart, And then he was put back together, and that's when he became the White Vision. That's
Right.
where that came from. They cherry-picked that out of a West Coast Avengers issue and made it into some other storyline.
They kind of did that in the
They do that a
WandaVision
lot.
show,
They
right?
like to cherry-pick little like gems out of storylines and change it up and stuff.
Well, I mean, you remember the Civil War movie? That was like, I mean, it was okay, but
Yeah,
like it,
yeah.
it fell so short of what the
It did.
of what
It
the
did.
actual story
I mean,
was.
but honestly, they could not have made the whole storyline into a movie. That would have been like a long-running TV show to do if they wanted to do it justice.
Which they should have, but
Yeah.
that's another story.
But anyway, yes, West Coast Avengers movie. That's definitely my number 4 pick.
Okay, I could be down for that. My number 4. Okay, we've seen a couple of Hulk movies. They were relatively lackluster. Would you agree? The Eric Bana movie, that one with the giant mutant dogs, that was downright kind of bad.
Yeah.
Who directed that? Ang Lee.
Ang Lee, yes.
Ang Lee, I think.
Yes.
And then we had the second Hulk movie with Edward Norton. Better, but like still not great. But here's what I want. I want a Gray Hulk movie, and I want to go through the whole gamut of Bruce getting put into the I forget what they called it, the nutrient bath or whatever, and then he comes out as the Gray Hulk, and then he goes off to Las Vegas and becomes Joe Fix-It.
Fix-It, yes.
I want the whole gamut of Gray Hulk.
Yes.
If they can't crowbar that all into one movie, I'll take it as a series. And yeah, Gray Hulk was my favorite Hulk. I don't know why. I guess it's just because of the era of when I was reading comics as a kid. He
Yes.
was gray at the time.
Joe Fix-It was awesome.
That was a fun story arc.
Oh, yeah, that was so much fun.
So yeah, that's my vote for my what are we on here? Number 4 is I want some Gray Hulk action.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree. That would be a lot of fun.
Do you think we will ever see a Joe Fix-It in any of the movies or shows or anything, or is that's just a pipe dream? Is it too
I
campy?
don't
Is it too
know.
cheesy?
I don't know. Who knows what Marvel will do? Like I just said, they love to cherry pick things out of storylines and just throw it in whatever story, movie that makes no sense.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like I've said before, the comics stories and the Marvel Cinematic Universe are incredibly different. They two are not the same, not even remotely the same.
Agreed, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. What's the like? Again, I'm so prone to go off on a tangent when I'm because I'm like thinking in real time, I guess. But like, what movie do you think did for Marvel specifically the best justice to the source material? If I had to put you on the spot,
Those closest to the source material? Oh man.
or show. It doesn't have to be a movie. It could be a show.
God, all of them are so way off the mark. It is really hard to say.
I mean, I feel like that Netflix stuff that they were doing at the beginning of it with the Punisher and the Daredevil, I thought that stuff was pretty close to on the money.
I mean, those were great shows, for sure. Really good shows. But again, yeah, they took a lot of like liberties with the origins and stuff of people.
Yeah.
You know, like Daredevil, he didn't get his powers through training or concentration. No, he was exposed to toxic chemicals
Sure.
as a child, which turned him blind and gave him enhanced abilities. And people forget that. And the Punisher, his family got massacred by mobsters and stuff, and then he goes on this trip. So I mean, they got his origin pretty accurate. But the thing about the Punisher show, when they came out with his own series, I'm like, hey, all right, we're going to get a Punisher series. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
But then the first episodes it starts with him ending his war on crime, and he goes off to play on a construction site and look mopey for 3 episodes. Like, what are you doing?
They did really want to get like super narrative with all of those shows. It was like,
No,
how
I
can we
want to
drag this
see
out?
his war on crime. I want to see him hunting down biker gangs and drug cartels. That's what I want to see.
Right.
I think that's what everybody wants to see.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Anyway, that was a deviation.
Anyway, yes.
So yeah, Gray Hulk. That's my vote for number 4. I believe we're on. Which then is what's your
Okay.
5?
Number 5. In the Watchmen series, they mention in the comic and the movie when they are meeting up to form like a team with everybody. They have the meeting where, comedian gives his speech and burns the map,
The old original Watchmen team.
Yes. And so one of the things that Night Owl mentions is that he's had a lot of success, that him and Rorschach teamed up and have had a lot of success fighting, gang violence and wars, and crime, at the ports and stuff like that. And I thought, what? I've always thought, that would be a really good series of Rorschach and Night Owl going over when they first meet up and how, those two are fighting crime for a couple years on their own, just the two of them. I thought that would be really good. I would like just to see the meeting of the first time these two meet up, and maybe show like Rorschach's decline, into insanity. I thought that would be a really good series.
I'm getting Lethal Weapon, Murtaugh and Riggs vibes, right? Like the Owl is kind of the straight Murtaugh character. Rorschach's kind of the Riggs, like loose cannon character, sort of a buddy cop show, but a little bit darker and crazier.
Yes, Rorschach is a little darker. A little bit. But yeah, I always thought that would be really cool to see, these two, again, street level. It doesn't have to be, not every movie and TV show has to be, have cosmic stakes on it,
I'm downright getting sick of that, I don't know, that trope, that narrative, that whatever you want to call it. It's like everything is like hinging on the end of the world. It's like, there's still like dudes that are just like robbing banks and stuff. Can we take care of those guys?
Have an episode about a group of guys that are committing burglaries in the area, and some lady gets hurt or killed or something, and they track them down. I'd watch that
for sure. Yeah.
Guys fighting street level crime. That would be awesome. And you know what? I think the best Batman stories you ever see is just him solving a mystery.
Oh, don't get me started on Batman.
Those are the best Batman stories, and you don't see a lot of those anymore. Everything has these crazy high stakes, and not all stories have to be like that.
My problem with the Batman movies that they've made, with the exception of that most recent one, The Batman is the world's greatest detective. In any of those movies, did he ever really do any detecting ever? It was just like, it was an action flick with a guy in a bat suit.
I think the closest you're going to get is the one with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, that's the newest one they did.
That's the closest you're going to get.
And it wasn't perfect, but it was like the most like detective comics kind of Batman, and they just keep missing the mark for me.
But I will say my favorite Batman movie is Batman Returns, with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman and Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Really?
Oh my God.
Like, I liked it, don't get me wrong, but I've never heard someone say that was their favorite.
That's my favorite Batman movie, just for the campiness, seeing Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Like eating the raw fish.
Man. And Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Oh, wow. Yes.
Okay.
That was so much fun. What a fun movie that was.
It's definitely not the worst one. I don't know if I'd put it on the best one either, but sure.
Yeah, that's my favorite Batman movie for sure. The campiness of it, the silliness of it was so much fun.
Okay. Well, anyway, The Watchmen, Rorschach and Owl show. I think that's your best idea of the whole list.
I saved it for last.
Including anything on my list. I think that would make for the best show. My last one, though, is a comic book that I don't even know if it was super successful. Do you remember the comic book Chew?
Yes.
There was this, for anyone that doesn't know, it was an Image comic book. It came out around the time of the Walking Dead comic book series gaining a lot of traction. And Image was just like, put out anything we can think of as fast as possible because it might be a hit. So they did this show, there's this book called Revival, which is actually getting a show I just read. Very soon. They did a lot of books, but Chew was this one about this guy that was a cybopath, I think is what they called it. Whenever he ate something, he could psychically see the memories.
The memories, yes. Yes.
Of whatever he ate. He was just a regular cop, I think, a detective. And in this world, chicken is illegal. So there's this whole like underground like chicken... I don't know, restaurants and like it's like drugs, but chicken. And the reason why is because there was some bird flu thing that killed.
I've never read it, so I'm not familiar with it.
There was this bird flu thing that killed like millions of people, and the government was like, no more chicken. So there's like this underground like chicken culture of people that go to like these like illegal restaurants and order chicken and whatnot.
Okay.
So he's trying to solve a mystery at the beginning of this series. And the way he solves it is, I think the chef gets murdered in some sort of chicken gang violence or something, and he eats a little piece of the chef to like figure out what happened, and he got caught, and they fired him. So then he's like, "Oh God, my life's ruined." And then he gets a job working for the FDA and being like a detective for the FDA. It's a really like quirky, weird story. And I don't know how long it went on for. I only read the first story arc, the first whatever 6 or 8 issues. But I would like to see that kind of just weird idea turned into a show or a miniseries. They don't do miniseries shows too much anymore. You remember when we were kids, it was like the It miniseries. Or
Honestly, I would just like to see a show about this underground chicken restaurant ring.
Yeah, it was a goofy book, but I enjoyed it, and I'm surprised they haven't turned it into something yet. So check it out if you haven't read it. It was good.
That sounds pretty weird and right up my alley.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know if it's still ongoing. I don't know if they're still publishing it or anything. Because like I said, I bought the first trade paperback when they were putting out all those different books of trying to catch lightning in a bottle after the success of The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
and I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Okay.
So, any honorable mentions?
No.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, honorable mentions is the right thing because this is just like trying to come up with ideas list. But
well, like I said before, a Dread 2 would be awesome.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
There's a lot of like obvious stuff where it's like, oh, I wish they would just hurry up and make this already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think pretty much that's my off the cuff my top 5. So
yeah, that was it. And these are all TV shows or movies that they could easily do. It's definitely within the realm of possibilities. That's what I really focused on.
Yeah, for me, I just wanted to see the stuff that I haven't seen yet. I don't know if they're all easy. A Gray Hulk, that might be hard. I don't think we'll ever see it, but
I think that comes down to like a licensing thing. I think only Sony can make Hulk movies or something like that, and they haven't had the best track record lately.
Yeah, I remember that actually. Like they could put Hulk in the Avengers, but they couldn't make a Hulk.
He can't have his own movie, I think. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with it. I don't follow that stuff that closely.
Yeah.
I'm just a regular guy.
All right, well, that'll wrap this one up. Those are our top 10, I guess, technically, ideas for stuff that they should do, stuff that they should turn into movies or shows from the comic world. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you got any ideas or suggestions of your own, leave them in the comments down below.
Let us know. We do read the comments, and some of them are really good. If you have any ideas about stuff you'd like to talk about or any questions you'd like us to answer, by all means, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that'll wrap this one up. Thanks again for tuning in and watching. Keep on collecting, keep on watching, and until the next one, bye now.